Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see on the title, I am sharing with you the top 10 things that I did a couple of days or couple of weeks after arriving here in Canada. So if you like this video or if you want to know more about this video, please keep on watching. Well, without further ado, I'll start. The first one on my list is applying for an MSP. Well, I'm not sure if it's also MSP in other province, but in British Columbia, a public health insurance is called MSP or Medical Services Plan. It's an insurance for eligible residents, and that includes international students like me. I'll pop somewhere here or here the details about MSP, and I'll also share you the link where you can apply for the MSP, but I'm pretty sure that your school have already explained to you that MSP is like a mandatory insurance for international students, and that you really have to apply for it as soon as you arrived in Canada. As you know, MSP takes like 90 days to process. Within that 90 days of processing, well, in my case, I am temporarily covered with a GuardMe insurance, which is already included in my tuition fee. On top of that 90 days temporary insurance, I've also applied for an early arrivals insurance. The early arrivals insurance is also covered by GuardMe. So basically, the early arrivals covers me from the date of my arrival, which was December 2, up until January 3. And then my temporary insurance covers me from January 4 up until like 90 days after, or as soon as my MSP is already in force. So I think the most important task that you should do upon arriving in Canada is to apply immediately for MSP, because it takes a couple of months before it's in force. Number 2 is to email your admissions officer to update them that you've already arrived in Canada, or if you've already received your negative swab test result upon arrivals. Alright, number 3 is of course to set up a bank account. So in my case, I chose CIBC. My transaction with them was very smooth. I just told the officer that I want to open a student bank account with, of course, a debit and a credit card. So upon getting my credit card, I just activated it using my mobile banking app, and it was good to go. I was able to use it immediately after activation. So actually, the details about the credit card thing was my number 4. Well, just to add up on the credit card thing, just make sure to be financial literate when you come here. You should be aware that having a good credit standing is very important here. Like if you wanted to have a postpaid plan, some service providers do require a credit check. Alright, number 5. Get a SIM card, a Canadian SIM card, either physical SIM or an eSIM, or a postpaid or prepaid plan. So in my case, guys, I just wanted to remind those that have like a postpaid plan in the Philippines, make sure that if your phone came from like Globe or Smart, make sure that before arriving here in Canada, you have your phone open. Because in my case, I terminated my contract with Globe, but still when I arrived here, the SIM card from Freedom can't be activated because my phone is prompting SIM lock, and there's no like green hills here where you can have your phone fixed. Luckily, I was able to contact Globe through Facebook Messenger, and I just don't know what happened. They told me that they will get back to me after 5 days. They didn't get back to me, but I waited for 5 days before inserting my Freedom SIM card again. And I was on the verge of getting a new phone here in Canada because I really feel hopeless and I already paid for my prepaid plan. And luckily, on the 5th day of waiting, I just tried my luck and I inserted my SIM card and it worked. So for those of you who have like phones which you bought with your postpaid plan in the Philippines, make sure that you have an open line so that when you come here in Canada, you can use your Canadian SIM card here. So for those of you who might be asking, I am under Freedom, but some international students are like recommending Fido. They do have like 15 gigabytes for $35. My prepaid plan is 20 gigabytes for $50 a month. And it's a prepaid plan because Freedom is requiring me to have like a credit card with a good credit standing for the past 6 months, and I don't have that yet. So what they did is they gave me that 20 gig for $50 and it's auto-debited on my card. Okay, so number 6, apply for a SIN. You must have a SIN prior working. Your employer would require you to have that, and the school, well in my case, Douglas College, have that part in like our students portal where you can update your SIN if you already have one. I suggest that you try to check the schedule for appointment when going to Service Canada. So you have to get your SIN from the nearest Service Canada in your place. In my case, here in Richmond, it's just like a couple of blocks away. And I went there few minutes after their opening hour. I went there as a walk-in. I don't have any appointment. And it was a disaster. I waited in line for 3 hours for a 10-minute transaction. Actually, less than 10-minute transaction. It was because walk-in applicants are only entertained if there is like a vacant time after every applicants with appointment. So I suggest that you apply for SIN with an appointment. But I guess it's difficult to have an appointment because of all the backlogs due to the pandemic. So if you have all the energy, all the patience, and all the time, I suggest you do walk in. So number 7 is request for a school ID. In my case, I decided to request online and I decided to have it delivered at home. Some students of Douglas College applied for it online and decided to have it picked up at school. Alright, so number 8, get a compass card. So there's 2 different types of compass card, the blue one and the orange one. For students like us, adult students like us, we should get the blue compass card. In my case, I already have a blank compass card, so I didn't buy a new one. When I arrived, it's December 2, so I just decided to load it up with a 2-zone monthly pass that's worth 134 Canadian dollars. So for those of you who'll be arriving like half a month in, I don't recommend you guys to load up your compass card with a monthly pass because it won't be worth it, because half of the month have already passed, and I think the monthly pass expires every end of the month. So that's how it works. Number 9, update your resume. Use a Canadian format. In my case, I just Google Canadian format. I just tweak my resume according to, of course, the credentials that I have and the details that I wanted to share. Well, there are some things that are in the Philippine resume format that's not really needed in a Canadian resume. I suggest that you Google it and do like a research on how to build up a Canadian resume. Along with it, you must also research on how to write cover letters, because some companies might require you to submit a cover letter along with your resume. And lastly, number 10, of course, when settling down, you need to shop for your needs. May it be groceries, clothings, furnitures, kitchen utensils. So in my case, since this apartment where I'm staying is already like fully furnished, I just shop for my clothing. So I already have like winter clothes with me, winter jackets and all. I still decided to buy a couple of more jackets and snow boots. I think it's a good investment if you're planning, of course, to stay a couple of years here in Canada or maybe for good. So it's a good investment. I also, of course, shop for my food. Then what else? I bought a computer table in IKEA. It's $99, and actually it's a good computer table. I'm going to share with you the time lapse here. So yeah, that was my computer table. And just a bonus tip, travel. If you have time and the means to travel, go. Because in my case, I did went to Grouse Mountain. I went to Capilano Suspension Bridge. I also went to my campus just to check my travel time from the apartment to the school. So those are the 10 things that I did upon arriving here in Canada. So if I missed out on anything, or if you have other things that you did which I didn't do, feel free to comment down below, share it with us. And of course, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell button so that you'll be updated with my upcoming vlogs. So thank you guys, and I hope to see some of the international students, especially the Douglas College international students around. Bye!